Today we're going to have a look at a succulent that is stunning, hardy and an absolute joy to grow. Sedeveria Pink Granite is a hybrid cross of an unknown Echeveria and Sedum. Whoever created this cultivar has done a fabulous job. The only downside is that it's not very frost hardy, but in every other aspect it's amazing. If you're a beginner, I'd definitely recommend this plant. Pink Granite is a trailing succulent that can spread almost indefinitely if it has enough space to do so. Individual rosettes are small and only reach about 5 cm or 2 inches in diameter. Height-wise, they can grow to about 10 cm or 4 inches, though the branch will eventually fall to the ground. New heads will form along the existing branches, and the overall size will very much depend on how much space the plant has. The leaves are small and chunky with a pointy tip. They are stacked up along the branch and can sometimes create a spiral. They are covered in a thin layer of farina. This white waxy substance acts like a sunscreen for succulents. The color range is amazing and can change throughout the year and based on growing conditions. During the growing season, pink granite tends to be a light green color in the middle of the rosette and pinky orange on the outer leaves. But once it gets cooler or the plant is stressed, a beautiful pink color comes through in different shades. Sedeveria Pink Granite is a sun lover and will grow best in a bright sunny spot outdoors. It does tolerate outdoor shade and filtered light, but is likely to be less colorful. It can grow leggy, tall and stretched as a result. Fungal diseases are also more likely to attack when succulents are grown in shaded spots that are often more humid. Sadly, pink granite is not suitable to be grown indoors long term and will likely eventually die unless you have plant growing lights, a sunroom or a huge sunny window. It should, however, tolerate overwintering and short stays indoors as long as it's kept in a super bright spot. This succulent can be grown in pots as well as frost-free gardens. If grown in pots, repotting every year or so will ensure a healthy multi-branched plant. Sedeveria in general tolerate being root-bound well, but can lose quite a few leaves to cope with the cramped conditions. You will likely get this effect with root-bound plants. Pink granite may also not grow big if not given enough space. If you only get light frosts and no snow during winter, you can grow this succulent in the garden. To help it establish and grow better, mix any type of potting mix in with the garden soil. The roots tend to be quite thin and can find it difficult to break through hard garden soil. By cultivating and mixing in a bit of potting mix, you'll add nutrients and improve the soil structure. When growing succulents in the garden, it's best to choose a slope raised beds or a spot where water doesn't pool after the rain. While good Sedeveria hybrids such as pink granite will tolerate poor potting media, they will grow best in a succulent potting mix when grown in pots. Succulent potting mix will have the right pH and nutrients tailored to succulent plants. From personal experience, pink granite is not too fussed by being overwatered. It tolerates rain and humidity well. Water-related diseases such as powdery mildew or edema are not very common. Pink granite should be just fine outdoors during rainy spells, though do make sure the potting mix is well draining and the pot has a hole. All my nursery pink granites are grown outdoors all year round, even when it rains quite a bit. Fingers crossed, I've not yet had one rot or get attacked by other serious fungal disease. However, if you're worried, bring it under cover during prolonged rain just in case. Plants grown under cover should be watered once they dry out from previous watering. In summer, this could mean watering a few times per week and almost not at all during the cold months. Pink granite is drought tolerant and will live for months without any water. But in my opinion, it should not be left too dry for too long, as it may start losing leaves. Temperature-wise, pink granite will tolerate heat well over 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit, though it should be moved out of the sun once it gets this hot. If exposed to direct sun during extreme heat waves, the leaves can suffer sunburn and the plant could die, especially when planted in dark-colored pots. It's said pink granite is not very frost hardy. It can get frostburns and even die when temperatures drop below -1 degree Celsius. Frost cloth can be used to protect your succulents from the occasional frost, but if your climate gets snow, I'd advise to bring this plant indoors for the duration. Pink granite can be propagated from seed, leaf and cuttings of offsets. Personally, I think seed propagation is not worth it as it can take too long and it can be hard to find a reliable seed seller. For fast results, propagating cuttings is the best method. As long as there's a good enough stalk to cut through, the rosette can be propagated. You can just pinch them away. Single rosettes as well as multi-branch stalks can be taken off to propagate. Cuttings should be left to dry for about 24 hours before planting. This will give the wound a chance to heal and prevent harmful organisms from getting in. Once the wound is dried, they can then be planted into pots filled with succulent potting mix and transplanted into the garden or a bigger pot once enough roots develop. First roots should start growing in 2 to 4 weeks and the plant will be ready to transplant in approximately 2 to 3 months. If you want loads of little pink granites, leaves are so very easy to propagate. They separate without breaking and have a really good success rate. Go for the biggest leaves at the bottom. One multi-branch plant can easily give you some 20 leaves. After separating a few, leave the leaves in a tray or pop straight on top of potting mix. Once you get new growth, plant the leaves in trays or pots filled with succulent potting mix and wait a few months until the roots have grown well into the pot. In my experience, propagating is best done in spring. Summer is usually also good, but do be careful to protect your cuttings and leaves from strong sun as they burn easily. In climates where autumn and winter are mild, you can also propagate cuttings at the beginning of autumn. Personally, I stop propagating leaves by early to mid-summer so the plant has a chance to develop before winter. So bad news, I'm afraid. Pink granite is susceptible to all pests that bother succulents. And unfortunately they are a bit of a magnet, especially for aphids. Aphids are most common in spring. They can attack the flower stalks as well as the rosettes. They usually go for the newest leaves in the middle of each rosette. Mealybugs are common too, so watch out for any white trails, cottony sacs or malformed leaves. Root mealybugs can be a real pain as they are hiding out of sight in the soil. They particularly like root-bound plants, so do check on those roots every year or so if you're not repotting regularly. And bigger pests such as snails, slugs, caterpillars and grasshoppers can attack too. They are usually responsible for bigger damage and can take multiple leaves off in one sitting. The inflorescence grows from the side of more mature rosettes. The stalk consists of leaves and white 5-petal star-shaped flowers. The stem branches out and there can be as many as 20 individual flowers. Here in Australia, pink granite flowers at the end of winter and throughout early spring, but this can be different in other parts of the world. Sedeveria are said to be non-toxic to humans, cats, dogs, other pets or livestock. Having said that, I would not advise eating this plant just in case. And that is all for today. I hope this video was useful, and if you have anything to add or would like to ask a question, you can do so in the comments below. To learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you so very much for watching.